Good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Ragchew.
Howdy, y'all. Was that an awkward start, or was it just me? Did everybody see our faces and we're like staring at the screens like, come on, intro, go, go, go.
You have to hold it so that it doesn't look like you're like, mid-motion. I'd just like to point out that we have 3 people with brown shirts on, brown-themed shirts on, Realtree, and brown 2 gray. Plaid.
I think mine's Faded Glory.
Unintentional. Welcome everyone to Sunday Night Ragchew. Yeah, he did. He gets paid. Realtree sponsorship. Just kidding. Okay, tonight it's Realtree, right? It's camo.
It's camo, but it's Under Armour.
Oh, Under Armour. Oh, okay. Sometimes they make those deals with Realtree.
Well, Realtree's a pattern. I mean, it's also a brand name, but they got patterns. I should go grab my Realtree. We need to go full camouflage one of these episodes.
Then no one will see us. It'll be an audio podcast.
I'll go get my Moose camo shirt just for giggles.
All right. Good evening, guys. Welcome everyone in chat. Chris, Radio and Life, is joining Michael and I on tonight's Sunday Night Ragchew, and he is going to be the guest with the expertise discussing tonight's topic. And what is tonight's topic? It is right there. Medical trauma, first aid. Kits, kit building, information. So I want to welcome Chris and thank him for bringing this topic to the attention and making it tonight's topic. So thanks, Chris, and welcome.
Hey, Paul, thanks.
He's bougie, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 45.
On you bougie now.
Yeah, I just want to
second hand. So
nothing wrong with that.
But
I just want to.
Chris is in the club too. He's wearing brown as well.
There's a couple house cleaning items. Is that what they call it? House cleaning items. Yes. One of those is yesterday's stream when I was making or doing the DIY True SDX soldering thing. I think I did 7 or 6 different live streams because it kept creating new live streams. I was trying to use Streamlabs. Wasn't working, so I'm back to OBS and StreamYard. But during that, I was informed that Jay Good Games, who's one of my PREParedness Razorback members. You can also see him at the top of the chat there on my screen. He is still the reigning stream boss with 175 hit points left. Those can be knocked down with super chats, people who subscribe and people who join as members. And then we get a new stream boss. There he is, Jay Good Games. I want to thank Jay Good Games for gifting 10, I believe it was 10, because when I looked it up, it still does not show in my analytics that he gifted and how many, but I see 10 new members. So I wanted to thank Jay Good Games for that, for the support. Much appreciated. And also a thank you to Don, who I don't see him yet, but I think he'll show up. He usually shows up a little later unless he's watching the Super Bowl. Don has upgraded from Piglet to a PREParedness Hog, so the middle tier. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it. Second,
not much to watch on the Super Bowl right now.
Oh, I don't even know when it starts. I'm not even into it. I haven't done any of that for a while. Some may know. I think I mentioned it yesterday. So I did get the Ragchew Crew stickers in. I've got these. I can't remember if they call it a vinyl or what, but it's a glossy supposed waterproof type design. And so anyone that's a PREParedness Hog, PREParedness Razorback, or has been on the Ragchew Crew stream will get one of these. So I know I know most, but if you've been on the stream and you want one, just DM me in Discord or whatever, and I'll make sure I get it to you. I just don't want to mail a bunch out if nobody really wants them. But I will send them out to everyone who has been a PREParedness Hog or PREParedness Razorback. So the initial ones were 3-inch. They were just too large. I did 2.5-inch. They turned out pretty good. So that's the other item. And I think that's it. So first of all, welcome, Michael. Tell us what your video was today, for those who want to check out his video earlier.
So last week I did the toy show and knocked over a bunch of toys off the displays. This week I went to the Lunar New Year festival. I kept calling it a celebration, but it was a festival. So it was a little different. It was more of a celebration of Asian cultures as a whole. I actually went to the store to get a red shirt because the only red shirt I had was a flannel shirt. And it was just too darn hot to wear a flannel shirt. Well, I got a short sleeve polo shirt, and by the end of the shoot, it was cold. So welcome to Texas. So if y'all are interested, they had the lions dancing. I thought they were dragons at first, but if you've never seen that, that's pretty fascinating to watch. And saw some drum groups go as well. So, but that is on my channel today. I actually aired about 30 minutes early because of the Super Bowl. It may have not made any difference whether I aired it at 5 or 4:30. So.
Go check out his channel at Getting Out in Life on YouTube. Getting at Life.
Getting at it live.
I don't know if you've got it saved, but I'll pull it up here and I'll put the link out there. Let me post this link real quick. I think most that I see so far are subscribers, but let's see here. Let's just drop this in while I'm doing it. So check it out. He does a lot of ham radio if that's your only interest. Videos as well, events, ham fairs. But he also goes to a lot of cool events and stuff around around Texas, and kind of fun to see all the things that are going on that I normally wouldn't go to. And then afterwards, I think, that looks pretty cool. So next time, maybe I'll go. All right. Next, I want to introduce Chris. For those of you who haven't seen Chris, I think you've been on one other time, right, Chris, at least?
Yeah, one other time. I can't remember when. It's been a couple of months.
Yeah. So Chris is back on. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll pull the link up and drop it in the chat. But Chris, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to bring to us tonight for Ragchew.
Well, the biggest thing, you guys, is I'm 46 years old. I've been an EMT first responder since the age of 18. The only thing I can suggest is what I'm going to bring to you guys tonight with having first aid kits and how that stock comes so that you're safe when you go out into the field or you go somewhere with your family. Biggest thing is get a class, get a CPR class, get a first aid class. They're very simple. They're very easy to get. And I'll show you a bunch of different websites you can go and do that through, basically from your home. You don't have to go anywhere else. I'm a type 1 diabetic, been that since the age of 6. So I've been battling that disease since, for 40 years, but that never stopped me and it never will stop me. Got into ham radio basically to have communications to some of the places I go to. And well, some of the places that saved my butt and some of the places it hasn't. It's all depending on who's listening. Remember, always have contacts that you can try to make contact with to get you out of those situations. That's the only thing I can suggest. And someone that can relay information to emergency personnel if possible. But other than that, let's have some fun. I'll show you guys some stuff and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. So I'm going to turn this pretty much over to Chris and Michael. I guess if you want to look for questions, I won't, so we don't double click. You see anything pop up?
Oh,
and Chris, do you want to take questions as we go, or you want to wait, or how do you want to do it?
Let's do them as we go, because sometimes it's a lot easier than stay at the end.
Okay. Are you able to present a screen if you want?
Yes. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. This
today, Colin.
Are you
welcome.
guys seeing it? Are you seeing this American?
Soon.
Oop.
Well,
there we go.
There we go.
You got it now?
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you. We're trying to figure this out.
That's all
You
right.
can just do. You can just do his. Just do that.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
The first screen.
Yeah.
The first screen I'm bringing up is basically through the American Heart Association. Now, the American Red Cross also has classes that you can take. This is where you go to find a course, and it's just basically find a course. Other than that, they have basic CPR stuff. They don't do a lot of stuff with medical or a first aid kit, but it is a very good resource to start a basic first aid training or a basic CPR training. So you're able to do CCR, not CPR. It's CCR, continuing compression. CPR is basically what it is. And it works wonders on anybody that has fallen down. Let me go to my next screen because I got a bunch of screens together for this so that we have multiple different places to go. So go to that one. Now, this one is one thing that I recommend everybody have in their trauma kits or their kits, period, because if you break a bone of some sorts, a SAM splint is very versatile and flexible. I've been using these for 28 years straight, and they have come in wonderful, more than anything else. I'll tell you this right now, if you don't have a SAM splint to do it, then you better find branches and you better find something to wrap it up to make your legs straight or make your arms straight so you can get the person out or get yourself out. It is so easy to use and so easy to make sure that we all go home and make sure our bones heal correctly, if you know what I mean.
Hey, Chris, we got a question already.
Go ahead.
Paul, are you switching the video, or is that me accidentally?
No, when he unshares it to go to the next one, it pops it up automatically.
Oh, okay, that's what was going on. Okay.
Okay.
So our first question is from Chris Bricker. If you had one pocket guide for the most medical issues, what guide would you recommend? I want to put guides in each of my kits.
Chris, the best way to have a guide is you're going to have to search from. I don't have those guides in my personal kit per se because I've had 28 years of basically doing this. I've come upon them, wrote notes. There's my guide. Most people don't have them. And a lot of people that go through first aid and CPR classes get a lot of the guides that you're talking about so that you would learn from them, if that makes sense. It's not something you're going to learn overnight, and you're going to forget about a lot of stuff, but you'll remember it when you're in that situation. You always will. I know 5 ways a Sunday to take a person out of a vehicle that has been wrecked. Now, I say 5 ways a Sunday. There's probably 30 different ways I know how to take somebody out of the front seat of a car. Honest to God truth. Am I going to use all 5 ways? No. Not every time. It all depends on the severity of the injuries and everything else. But I will figure out a way that is not going to harm my patient to get them where they need to get help. If that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, what Colin's saying is right. You'll notice a lot of defibs are popping up everywhere. City and government buildings. Yep. That's one thing I'm trained on. Is I train every year on the CCR and defib.
Yeah. It's part of your job, I would imagine. But one of the now this is not available everywhere, and Denton County is very rare for this, I would say. But we have a CERT program that does the CPR AD training. We haven't done it in a while. I think mine is expired, but they do medical training at least once or twice a year as part of their normal monthly training deal. So. If y'all have a program like that, get involved with that because that will teach you so much. And I'm always getting refreshers like, oh yeah, I forgot about this or I forgot about that. But I'm more on the comm side of things for the CERT program. But that may be a great training opportunity. And having guides about stuff, it's kind of hard to read while you're trying to take care of the actual emergency. So that's something to think about too.
And the big thing is, you have CPR defib courses in your area. Get into them. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm truly lucky that I went for my EMT basic. I went for my EMT intermediate. I went for my paramedic. Granted, the pay is terrible. I mean, I do not wish that upon anybody.
That's
the pay.
That's what's kind of kept me from getting into it was the pay.
Yeah.
But Hamnetics is recommending the Brady Emergency First Responder series for easy reference. It's not pocket size, but it is a book.
And it is a very good one. I mean, heck, I still have my Brady Emergency Medical Technician basic book that I refer back to, or I have my medical dictionary book that I refer back to, but that's at home. That's, that's stuff that I don't carry with me.
So Chris is saying he used to have an airman's manual and an old Boy Scout manual.
If
they
you
need
can
to
find
have
them,
Boy Scout manuals for grown-ups now. I mean, that should be a basic thing that everybody has in their car.
I still have my original, and I've got an updated one for when my boys were in. Boy Scout manuals are good for kind of overall.
But Chris has got a good point. The ADs do talk you through it, but there's some basics you need to know about ADs. I mean,
correct.
If you can remove somebody's watch, remove it. Remove their glasses, but don't go trying to remove all the piercings and stuff. They're just going to get burned.
I hate to say this as an old paragod, and I honestly hate saying this as an old paragod, is you need to remove any medical patches that are on the chest. If you don't, you'll fry the person, literally and figuratively. Please remove any medical patches that are on the chest. You will burn them, and you will give them third-degree burns. So it is not a fun thing.
The little
on your chest
monitors pop that. But what about the glucose monitors that are in your arm?
No, you can leave mine on mine's on this arm today.
Right
here, let me show you guys, because this is something that I deal with.
Because I know anything metal will fry.
I got a question.
That's fine. Okay,
go ahead, Paul.
Let's say you just come. You're near someone, they drop. No one's really with them or anything, and you take you got the AED or whatever defib kit, and you open it up and you see that lump. That's most likely a pacemaker. What do you do?
You do not attach the defib to it, and you just start
just CPR. Compressions. Okay.
Yes, compressions. Just go to compressions, because that is actually something that the medical staff that is coming, the EMTs that are coming, the paramedics that are coming, will know what to do with. If you don't deal with it every day, or you haven't had the training, just start compressions. Sometimes it comes back.
That's an excellent question, because I've been through multiple CPR AED classes, and I never heard of a pacemaker being addressed.
Oh, I have.
Hey, real quick shout out. SB Damian PR on Trovo, new follower. Thanks. Go ahead.
It's one of those things that if you see that cigarette pack underneath the skin, as I call it, you know that they have a pacemaker or a defib, and that defib's working already. Why do you want to put yours in there and short it out?
Right. Absolutely.
I that's the only question I got. Why do you want to short something out that supposedly is working? We don't know if it's not, but
so Chris, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
I know a lot of people who've got the defib.
That's me. Sorry. Let me mute this. This stuff auto plays. I don't know why. Go ahead.
With these defib pacemakers, are you seeing more and more of these pacemakers having the defib already included in it? Or
I was, and this was, probably 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm working I work for a manufacturing company now, and I'm the first responder captain for my area. Right. I am seeing a couple of our people in our company getting more and more of those. So it's a whole mess of new training for the first responders that I have in my group, that it's like, okay, guys, we cannot use the defib here until the ambulance gets here. Let them hook them up. We're not going to take the, liability, so to speak.
I like Dell's idea.
What's that?
I was a first responder in my work too, so.
Yeah.
Dell says He says, steal the
You want to rig
battery
it
out
up?
of the AED, rig it up for
No, I
POTA,
got
and
it
call for
all.
help.
AD's not working.
Yeah,
But I got some great contacts.
I've thought of that already. Doesn't work. It's usually only enough to basically not even. It powers my G90. Let's just put it that way.
So Colin's got is on the marine rescue side of things over in Australia, but he said you can use as a defib on somebody with a pacemaker. If the AD is used on someone with a pacemaker, the pad should be placed away from the pacemaker. Which is,
Colin is
normally you put the patch here and then down here on the gut. So
you flip flop them.
Can it be on the opposite sides then, basically swapping the chest one and then the side one the opposite side?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the way I've always done it. Colin is correct.
Exactly
you can use one. You can use it. I flip flop it. It goes from this side to this side and down. I stay away from when they're the actual defibs. If I know the person does not have a has a defib on them, I keep any of our defibrillators away from them. I let the ambulance deal with it. If I'm dealing with a pacemaker, I just flip flop it. Flip flop sides. It's not that big of a deal. It'll still work.
So not all of them have that. Yeah, I had a coworker. Correct. She was hearing this beeping sound and she thought it was her computer, so she shut her computer down. Then she thought it was her phone. She did a reboot on the phone. She finally figured out her battery was low and had to get it changed out on her defibber. So
what's blurry, Patty?
Crazy.
Patty says something's blurry.
Am I blurry? I'm usually blurry.
Go ahead and continue, Chris. Patty will let us know if there's something going on.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go to another screen here, but I just basically pulled this up, and this is just Amazon. Nothing real fancy, so to speak. But you go to Amazon, you can go through all these different ones. And I'm gonna tell you this: you could build half of these for probably right around where this $46 one is. And you can build it out of your own. And you can just take a simple lunchbox, soft-sided lunchbox cooler, and make it. Yeah, it's 420 pieces, but do you really need 420 pieces for your first aid kit? Probably not. First aid kits are very simple, very, very easy. And it's not that bad to do it on your own. But if you just want to buy one, these are all great ones, and these are just on Amazon. And I just looked them up quick, and I'm like, here you go. Simple this, simple that, simple that. It's all stuff that I would carry for a basic first aid kit when I take my kids out, to the woods, or I take them, go out and do different stuff.
So Hamnetics has got a good point there. He said they record waveforms and guide the first responder, and some record some audio. So in general, it's not only safe to hook them up, but desired. That's interesting.
It depends on the model of the AED. That is the only thing I'm going to stress on that. So, but like I said, first aid kits, great here. I will see if I can pull this other one up. Is there any other questions quick?
No.
Yes,
Colin's
45.
Price of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Colin, you're right on that. But 45 Auto here says most people know I only use a boo-boo kit on a regular basis. Yes, that is basically what a basic first aid kit is, a boo-boo kit. And yes, you should have 4x4s in there just in case of something.
Now, there's a YouTube channel I follow called Keep Your Daydream, KYD.
Yep.
And they're RVers, and he's got a full paramedic setup for his.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I don't know how to do it. It's got intubation kits and everything, he said. But if I'm in a middle of nowhere and I have this equipment, somebody comes up and knows how to use it, I want them to have the gear to be able to use it. So a lot of his first aid stuff that he has in his pack is stuff that he's not even trained to use, but if somebody's there to use it, they're able to use it. And what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's a good idea. When you're practicing not for your job and you're doing it on your own for just general community, there's a good Samaritan law here in the United States of America that protects you, as long as you don't go above your level of training.
Right.
Keyword,
to have
your level of training.
But
So,
to have that gear in case somebody who's got the
No.
higher level of training to be able to use it, you don't recommend it.
No, I don't recommend it at all. I mean, honestly, my last first aid kit literally had 2x2s, 4x4s, band-aids, all sorted colors, tape, wrap gauze, the Kleenex, Coban, and as stupid as it sounds, a tweezers and an EMT shears. That's it. Okay. I had a SAM splint in there, and I still have that SAM splint today, because I took it out of there because I was done with the box that it gave me, but I always carried a SAM splint. I always had training bandages. I had one, and the one thing I haven't gotten to yet, with some of the places that us as hams go, sodas, podas, that kind of stuff, we have no way to stop the bleed. And that's a big thing nowadays with, someone, you're out camping, and what do? You cut, you put a axe handle through your kneecap. What do you got to do? You got to stop the bleed. Pressure bandages and all that different stuff. Correct.
That's another good class
he's
to
agreeing
take if
with
you're
you.
able.
Yeah, Jody's 100% correct. They only act with the scope of your practice. You have to know what you're doing. I mean, I'm with getting my when I held my EMT basic or intermediate license, I never left that keyword mafia. I know everything, how to put an airway in. I know how to, do all this different stuff. So I show up on scene, even though I'm technically not licensed. They're going to go, "Hey, Chris, stick this in for us." It's one of those things that you have to realize. Having the stuff that you're trained for will take you further, a lot further, because when the ambulance shows up or the first responder shows up and you go, "What did you do?" you'll be able to show them. One of the nice things that the American Heart Association is doing for their basic first aid and the American Red Cross is stopping the bleed. And they recommend tourniquets. Now,
Yeah, I've got one in my pack.
Yeah, it's the one thing I've lost because I had to use it. I never went and replaced it. It's one of those things that you better to have two on hand and just one with you. You never know when you're going to need one.
And I actually probably need to replace mine because, you kind of take it out and kind of play with it a little bit, but they don't want you to, use it once because at that time, all the fabrics and stuff is stretched out on it.
No.
There's, so this stopthebleed.org class, I was able to take the class through CERT and it was free. So that is a good resource if you don't have a local CERT team that they may get someone authorized to come in and the county or city may pay for it, or they may have a volunteer. We had one of our guys sent, I don't know who paid for it because it's a few $100, I think, to become certified to teach. I can't remember, but it did cost money. And then he taught the class. So look into Stop the Bleed, look for local classes that may be free, maybe through CERT or a church or a Red Cross or something like that.
In fact, CERT modified their basic training to include the Stop the Bleed module. So I took a abbreviated version of it, but someone here, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling back a little bit. But he's talking about some out-of-date pills. Honestly, so now you go through them once a year. My main thing for a first aid kit is not necessarily aspirin and things such as that. That's not my focus on that. My focus on a first aid kit is the 4x4s, the gauze, the splints, and things such as that you'll need more often. In fact, Paul and I were on a deployment together one time. Paul, this was Little Elm, and we were on a search and rescue, and Paul brought over somebody that cut their hand up. I think they fell in the middle of the field during the night. It was an overnight search and rescue we were doing. So I had my kit, and I was able to do some, low-level treatment of that person. Of course, we're right outside the fire station there too, so could have had them just take care of it. But it was enough. It was enough within my scope. Know how to treat it.
Correct. Chris can expound on this, but there's definitely those things. I think he's mentioned a few things. Like I got that. Like when I started CERT, and then I became a trainer. When I started CERT, you get your basic bag. We've talked about first aid kits and bandages. I get the Band-Aid kit from Costco. It's got like 2,000 different Band-Aids. That's that's totally separate from my medical kit.
Yeah.
Any kind of medical kit or something I've added, like he said, the 4x4s. I've got the tourniquet. I have yet to get like the, what's the stop bleed sponge type thing? I forgot that thing that.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever that
quick clot.
Quick clot. I've been told, and my understanding is the sponge type thing or the gauze soaked one is better than the powder, I guess.
Correct.
And in my opinion, I think that would be easier to apply. So I need to add that one. But what are some of the things like tourniquet, adding extra 4x4s? I now have my second CERT bag. I got another CERT bag, my trainer bag. It's literally full of 4x4s, gauze wraps, all those extra things that if I needed to do some basic triage on a bunch of people's cuts, bruises, it's bigger than a Band-Aid, I can do it for probably like 40, 50 people. So what are other things you would suggest adding to kind of those basic kits if someone went out and bought one? What would you have them add to those, Chris?
As stupid as it sounds, and I call them pressure bandages, and they're basically abdominal pads or a trauma pad. Those they're bigger. They're this big by this big when they're unfolded, or they're this big by this big when they're unfolded. It's like if someone scrapes open their belly, or stuff like that. And looks like Michael's digging in some.
Yeah, I haven't gone through my CERT bag in a while. I don't even know what's in
here's something. The other thing that I was going to bring up real quick, and I got two more shows here, but this is a big one.
That was Michael's last year Halloween costume. He was a mummy.
I got plenty of those.
The SOF Tactical Tourniquet by Tactical TacMed Solutions. TacMed, I've been following them since they came out.
That's a good price.
Yeah, it is, and that's through the Red Cross. So
that's a really good price.
That's not bad at all. I've seen them as high as $75.
Yeah.
So, they're coming down in price for that reason. Buy one, use one, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with Roger. I really that stop the bleed. I mean, getting your hands on and doing that with a little mannequin or dummy where you're shoving gauze in a hole. I mean, it's life-saving. I mean, just to learn those things and kind of have your mind ready for what you may have to do. I think Stop the Bleed is a really good class.
It is. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I've stopped the bleed with tampons and all that.
I've heard that.
I keep them on hand. I don't use them as a primary. There's something that if I need to stop something, I'm going to put that tampon over the top of it, and I'm going to make sure it stops.
Yeah.
It's just, very good. Let me pull up this other one real quick if I can. Oh, yeah, you could keep fine.
I mean, I'm sure there's so many experiences that you've had, and maybe even people you've worked with, and maybe even some people in the chat where a person's life could have been saved if someone could have just stopped or at least drastically slowed the bleed.
Correct. And that's all you want to do.
Yeah. You can bleed out in just a couple of minutes. I mean, it depends on how, big the trauma is, but I mean, it can literally be a couple of minutes and then EMTs or whoever arrive, it's too late. So if someone first person on scene can do whatever they can do. I mean, you know, in the movies, it shows the guy ripping his belt up and tightening it down. But if you can do that to at least slow the bleed till the pros get there, it literally could save someone's life.
I'll tell you what. The thing of it is,
and all of us, and I mean, all of us are great communicators with our radios. We know how to get somebody there as quick as we possibly can. You know, I can't remember. There was a video I was watching. Oh God, it's got to be going on 2 years, that they're on top of a mountain and they stopped the bleed on this guy and they basically got help within 30-minute ride by helicopter, which is great. You know, you got to be able to do that. The guy was calm. The guy wasn't going into any kind of shock or anything like that. They kept his legs up. They did everything they were supposed to. And the guy made it. I mean, yeah, he was a little torn from wear, but I mean, heck, if I show up in the middle of the turtle flambeau foliage in northern Wisconsin, and I'm sitting in the water, 35-degree water, you know, and I get out, I hope someone's there for that. You know, so I'm not doing it by myself trying to warm up.
So what are those tourniquets run now? They're like $35.
He was just showing one for 30.
30, yeah. Okay. So the ones you saw. So this is what I had. I actually made where I had the roll gauze and the 4x4s. And I actually had multiple packs of these, but this is the last one that's left in my cert bag because I've actually had to use it for home emergencies. I think my ex-wife, my wife at the time, sliced her hand chopping on some turkey or something, trying to break open a turkey. But we had some other questions. I'm usually left in command, so I'm usually not in the field with cert, so I've been neglecting my deal. But,
I just
Colin mentioned, we were talking about medicine and first aid kits. The ones in Australia do not have medicines in there because you can add your own, but people may have some allergies against some medications. So
correct.
That's a great point, Colin. Thank you for that. And then we had Del Fargus had a question here, and before that, yes, 45 auto. I'm cheap. I just can't afford the practice tourniquets, but I know our CERT program has 1 million of them.
I want to get one thing real quick. Chris Bricker was asking what your affiliate link is for the Gucci tourniquets, Chris.
Oh, I don't have a Gucci
I had that
tourniquet.
story. You stole my thunder.
Oh, I thought you were going to Dell. You said just something about Dell.
No,
okay.
I'm going backwards, but Chris was going to do the last.
All right.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you this: these things right here, they're cheap, and they work wonders.
You can cut a penny with these things.
Yeah.
Oh, you can cut more than that.
I've had some jeans that I had to throw away because it split the crotch on them. So I just tried it on the jeans, and it went right through it like butter.
Jeans? I've cut leathers off with these.
Yeah.
Motorcycle leathers. They go through them like hotcakes.
I don't think I'd be using those shears anywhere near my crotch to cut jeans.
I wasn't wearing them. And here's some building search guides that we have. That, how you mark the buildings.
Just real quick, guys. If you haven't done CERT, just go do CERT. Go do the training. It's free. If you want to say, taxes pay for it, but it's free. Get your family, force your family to go. Tell them, then take them out to lunch or do something, make it fun, but just do CERT. There's so many learning opportunities there.
He didn't go into CERT, but he learned so much from it. Anytime he goes camping, guess what goes camping with him? He takes his CERT. He's 21 years old now, but he carries.
I know they got CERT. I know they have CERT in Brazil. I've never looked up. Colin, do you have CERT in your area?
I don't even know if I have it in my area.
Well, we're just very fortunate in Denton County. I'm just going to state that. But I'm sure they have some kind of programs there.
All right.
They may have something similar, but go ahead.
Yeah. So we have one question here that I wanted to get starred. I like the star feature here. Excuse me, I was about to sneeze. Dumbest question. When I was in the Army, they trained us to write a T on the forehead of somebody who had a tourniquet applied to them. Is that a universal thing or just an Army thing? That sounds like a mass casualty thing.
I've done it. And there was only one patient.
That sounds like a mass casualty thing.
But
I thought that was for Ash Wednesday.
The other thing is, on your tourniquet, you're supposed to put the date and the time. Put the date and the time.
Don't do it on Ash Wednesday. It can become confusing.
Yeah. But you can.
That's another thing. If you do apply a tourniquet, please label it.
Yeah. Please. So,
Well, they probably have it in Canada too, I would assume. It's hard to say if they'd have CERT just because CERT is through our government. So I don't know.
Well, Jody, I got something to show you.
It started in Los Angeles. Los Angeles started because there was the earthquakes in Los Angeles, and people were rushing over trying to help the firefighters and the police that were way overwhelmed with all the rescues that had to happen, but they weren't trained, and that's how the CERT was born from that. But Hamnetics said, just some trivia, some people are allergic to the mineral used in QuikClot or to the shellfish used in Celox, a very similar product. Celox works a bit better, but not if the patient has allergies.
So what Hamnetics is saying is you have to have a bottle of Benadryl with you.
Well,
pretty much.
It's kind of like, and I know I'm getting into controversy here, but I'm choosing my words carefully here.
No controversy.
I had a friend that died from the COVID shot. It took the medical examiner to say, yes, he had this issue with the reaction to the COVID shot. They waited a full year before they made that deal. But did the COVID shot, now I know this is a horrible thing because some people think the COVID shot did nothing good for it. But, compared to if something's going to save your life, but you might have this little hidden thing that may harm you, I would still do that thing because it's all about percentage of what may be better for you.
Correct.
But it may end up bad. The treatment may kill you, but most likely not. But 99% is going to save you, but there's always that 1%.
Yeah, I
Chris,
laughed at the
you're going to
COVID.
say something on that? Huh?
Yeah, the whole COVID thing, don't get me wrong. Yes, it was bad. It was terrible. My 10-year-old got it before anybody else did, and then they canceled school on him basically and, did the virtual school.
Right.
I finally went in and got mine after I did a bunch of research and that kind of stuff because, hey, I'm type 1 diabetic. I don't like just taking medication for any reason. And I went and got the Johnson & Johnson 1 shot and you're done. I didn't want to go for 2. I just did 1. Have I gotten any boosters? No.
Yeah.
Am I going to? No. That's just my personal preference. That's my personal feeling. I really didn't want to go get the first one in the first place. But I did because I wanted to protect my life so that I could work and make good for my family at the time and make sure I was there for them.
Well, and there's one thing about pandemics that people don't realize, I'm not going to say one way or another whether a shutdown was necessary, but I just looking at the flu pandemic of 1918, when the flu became a really big thing in a very big way, and it was a war that made it worse, but it started in Kansas. Yeah, and those first strains, when something new comes out, sometimes those first strains are a lot deadlier than the subsequent strains. Now you get COVID, it's like a cold. You don't see the Delta strains that are causing massive lung damage as much anymore. But The flu was the same way. I tend to get a flu shot. I'm not getting any more COVID shots. I got the first one and the 2 boosters. Nothing weird except something growing out the side of my head. But other than that, I was okay. It snapped right off. But that's something you got to be careful with in pandemics. You don't be careful of the hype. There may be truth coming out. There may not be false information coming out at the same time. But you always need to have some caution. So was the shutdown necessary? I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that. They did the same thing with the flu.
Right.
In fact, there was a lot of fatalities from a war bonds parade that they had for war bonds during World War I, and a lot of people in that town died from that flu strain. But fortunately, it mutated enough. That's what diseases do. They mutate over time to where it's not as dangerous. So, sorry, went on a tangent there. We're here about first aid and stuff. So,
no problem.
Yeah,
Actually, there's something that I saw from Jody from Ham Medics. He was talking about the quick clot stuff, and actually, I pulled something up here that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you guys. This company, TacMed Solutions, is the only one that I honestly recommend for any kind of bleeding control kit or stuff like that. You can see as I scroll down, you can see all the different stuff here with the different tourniquets and how to stop the bleed, so to speak. It's a very, very good company to go through or whatever else. And you can just get a basic kit real simply. It's not that it has to be done per se with different things. Now, there are allergies to this, and it is all that stuff. And I see you there, Roger. I will make sure I go grab a link for you. And these guys literally are the best. I've dealt with so many different companies over the years trying to promote this stuff that it he's got it already. There you go.
Sorry, it's a long one.
But yeah.
TacMed? Okay.
Yeah, it is. These guys are the best. I love these guys. I do. I always have. I always will. They came out probably somewhere around 2000, 2001, and they've only gotten better. It used to be only gauze pads, and you could buy a box of 25 gauze pads with the stop bleed in them, and you'd pay like $80 for the box of 25 of them. Well, now you can get a field trauma kit. You can get just a trauma kit, and you're talking $40. And you get multiple different sizes of multiple different stuff. It's really, really nice. I honestly swear by these guys till I'm blue in the face. They've helped friends of mine that went over to the sandbox, and they've helped friends that are here at home. I have many friends that are either Marine or Army, and they swear by them just as much as I do. So they've been battle tested. They're awesome. I can't swear by them enough. They do really, really good work. But
yeah, their prices are affordable looking too.
And they used not to be. I mean, I spent $80 on 25 different 2x2s.
Yeah.
We all know what 2x2 looks like. They're wonderful. The wrap gauze, if you can get a hold of that stuff is just the bomb. It literally is just the stuff you want, because you could put a 2x2 in there and wrap their arm up, and it still stops the bleed. The other thing with wrap gauze, you can also stuff it into places you don't want to know.
Is that called control wrap?
I think that's what they call it. I call it clinics.
They got hemostatic bandages. They got Let's see.
Control wrap is this one.
Yep. And they work. They work wonderful. OLAES
modular bandage. Maybe this is more what looks like it's built in with. Is that it there?
Yep, that's another one that's really good. They've come out with
got
some
like
new systems.
Yeah, like a thick chunk of gauze in one section. They just keep wrapping.
Correct.
Yo.
They've come out with so many different new ones.
So check them out. Maybe find something you can afford and add some of these products perhaps to your kits, mobile and home kits. I'm gonna save that website.
Yeah, they got full kits in here for $72, about $142 for Stop the Bleed.
And usually their full kits come with a tourniquet with it too. So I mean, you're getting good gauze and good ways of stopping heavy bleeds very quickly. A little finger cut, that's a Band-Aid or a something else. But if you're talking you cut your arm or cut your leg, we all know, it's bad.
Hamnetics, you're not joking. I had a guy who shot a nail through his finger, and I wiped out my first aid kit taking care of him before we got him to the hospital. He broke the tip of his bone in his pinky. Framing. He was trying to push a frame a little bit more, and it ended up popping through and messing the wood. Got his finger though.
That's always special.
And what was bad was I had another friend that was there. He was just standing by when it happened because I was with the guy when treating him, and I had to stop treating him for a second. I said, "Hold this," and I ran over to the other guy who's 6'6", and he just turned white as a ghost. I caught him as he was going down. So
that's not good.
I was like, man, I don't need 2 injuries, but the blood was a little much for him. We were building a barn.
Well, and of course, I was talking about the Red Cross earlier. So this is the Red Cross medical kit or medical gear outfitters, which is recommended by the Red Cross. They're a lot more of the tactical side of stuff. But I mean, they have pretty decent setup kits and stuff.
The American Red Cross sells this?
No, this is Medical Gear Outfitters. It's a different corporation that actually it's part of Skinny Medic is another guy that I follow on YouTube and Instagram. And just to see what he's all about. And when I started following him, he's a former Army medic. Well, yeah, I'm going to like you right away. Him and I started chatting over one of the things, and I said, "You ever use a ladder splint?" And he goes, "Yeah, I've used them. Ladder splints are no fun unless you have something to pad them because all it is metal. It's almost like a SAM splint without the. It is a SAM splint basically without all the padding, is what it comes down to. It's not fun, but it's a good kit, if I can. But American Red Cross, I can't tell you enough that I think I shared that earlier with way the tourniquet, the price of the tourniquet was at $30.99, I think it was, Paul, if I remember right.
Yeah, $31 basically.
Yeah.
Oh wow, he's right. That medical pack out tray for Milwaukee is $145. There's a Class B Type 3. There's a bunch of different ones. It depends on what you want.
Correct.
Oh, that's on here.
That's pretty cool, man. I can slide that on top of my.
In my car, I always used to carry until I had to pull it out of there, a blood pressure cuff and a stethoscope along with it. I'm an old EMT. You never lose that trait.
Yeah.
Someone like you, Paul, who doesn't do blood pressures all the time and that kind of stuff, go to freaking Walgreens and pick up a automatic blood pressure cuff.
Yeah, we have one.
Yeah, they work great.
That's what we do. That's what the airlines use now. That's actually in the IMK in-flight medical kits, has one of those over-the-wrist ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the wrist ones are not that good compared to the upper arm ones. My doctor actually had a visit with her earlier this week, and she's wanted me to get a new one. She said after 5 years, they're still pretty good, but they're not the most accurate after 5 years of use, is what she told me. So I need to buy another one. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I have
just
one.
Shout out to Colin here. Let's see if the audio will work. This here. Colin saved the day.
Nice job. See, and that's the big thing. It might not be you, it might not be your family, but it might be someone out in the community. You know, luckily Colin was there and he was able to have his first aid kit available. I mean, how many of us can say that?
My brother, who's a flight attendant, he actually went into a Costco before work. Guy was choking on a Costco sausage, really big, heavy guy. And my brother knew he couldn't, you can't wrap your arms around someone if they're so big. And so we had put him down on the ground and gave him Heimlich on the ground and got it out of his throat.
That works.
Yeah.
The more you learn.
There's that new plunger thing that what is it? Life Vac.
Yeah,
it's like a mask that goes over there, but there's a plunger and you can plunge it out.
Let's just put it this way. When I saw the new way they do CPR in the back of ambulances, I just shook my head. What's up, Ziggy?
Those mechanic things are pretty.
The mechanical hands I laugh at. And Ziggy probably could laugh just to laugh too.
How are they not good after 5 years? It sounds like a big blood pressure if you want to buy.
Chris, they're not good after.
She said my systolic numbers were running a little higher, but my blood pressure. I've had to go through some major, and I'm sure the divorce is probably a big part of it. But I've had to have several increases on blood pressure medicine. So
your blood pressure will go down as time goes on. Trust me.
Okay.
Hey Ziggy, I'm so bummed. I was supposed to meet you this weekend at Hamcation and didn't end up going, but I'll catch up with you, Ziggy.
That's a good thing.
Good to
All right.
see you,
Any other great words of wisdom, Chris?
The only big word of wisdom that I can say to anybody is go get trained. Get trained to use the tourniquets. Get trained to use the specialty items so that you are totally prepared for anything that happens.
If you have a certain, go ahead.
If you go to any big ham fest, there's medical staff there, or EMTs there, but what if you're walking around you could possibly help somebody out until they get there? I mean, Ziggy probably could tell you that place was pretty huge, and you can't be more prepared than making sure you're ready to go if you need to. You got to get trained, get your CPR done, get a basic first aid class done, and that'll show you how to use the tourniquet. It'll help you show you how to do CPR and get recertified. More people that know CPR and more people that know how to do basic life-saving stuff is better for all of us in this world. We can make sure all of us can grow up to be 90 or 100. That's my biggest pet peeve. Not more people are trained. And I'm talking from 12 years old on up.
So if we can divert the $50 million that went to prophylactics for Gaza Strip and put that into CPR training, that would be a good thing for the nation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the one thing that I hate about a lot of these classes is they are becoming more and more cost prohibitive for a lot of people. I've seen them going for $60, $80, and that's absolutely ridiculous. That's offensive.
so here's another shout out with that being said from Chris and on CERT. Guys, if you're in an area with a good CERT program like Denton, our county here, they do monthly retraining. So there's at least one, sometimes two other months in the year that you're going to practice triage, medical, stuff like that. We have YouTube nowadays. You don't have an excuse to not know anything, to be honest. You can literally go online, get a reputable YouTube or medical person somewhere that will teach and show you how to do anything that Chris has talked about to at least get started until you find a class. Don't sit here and wait for, oh, there's a class in 7 months I'm going to take. Go online, find a medical YouTube channel, get some square bandages or whatever, tourniquet, and learn how to use it and practice, like he said. It's not that hard anymore.
The funniest thing is the Red Cross and the Heart Association, you could do all your classes online. You only have to go in and get tested out, so to speak, do your practical stuff on it. That's how simple it is. It's always, they do everything they do so much online nowadays. So much. I mean, heck, when we went from the American Red Cross First Responder Program at my work to the Heart Association one, I did it all online and I went in and tested out. Somebody that has years of service like me, it's like, really? You want me to come show you that I know how to do CPR?
Yeah, that's funny.
And here's the thing that I discovered between CPR classes. You will do an excellent job that first CPR class. You're going deep enough and all that. But you're not giving CPR for anybody. A couple of years later, you take it again. And you realize how violent the CPR is supposed to be. And you're just not, you're like, I'm doing it. Well, it's not clicking. It's not pumping, you know. And the new dummies, they actually show blood flow now. And so, I mean, so take it again. That's something you need to take again. Just like Skywarn class. Well, we tell our areas people, you got to take Skywarn class again. Take that class again. And I need to take it again now. So I'm preaching to myself right now. But yeah, CPR is violent. Just remember that. It is a very violent thing. Our instructor says she started crying after she performed CPR. She saved the person's life. But, you know, the whole, when you're starting to hear rib cages cracking and snapping, you know, you're breaking bones when you're doing it. And, but you're saving their life. And that's the bottom line there. Hamnetics saying, Michael, exactly. The first responder 40-hour course here is $3,000 2K US. Unless you're sponsored, it turns volunteers.
That's why
CPR is cheaper.
Look for the free stuff, the CERT programs, the Red Cross programs, YouTube.
Get something you can. I mean, they offer a lot of training. I've been training so many things in CERT. It's ridiculous. I know how to direct traffic.
Do it. You don't need to be.
I learned how to direct traffic in CERT.
You don't need a first responder training. You need basic. Think basic first. You know, basic first aid, basic stuff. It helps you out a lot. And CPR class, my rescue to dead is a 1 to 10. I've done CPR 10 times. I've only saved one person. And I've been doing this for 20 some odd years.
So Colin's talking about in Australia, they have this senior first aid course.
Yep.
And it's every 3 years he's got to be certified, and it's $150. So Colin, is that just a high level, or is that to be able to work with certain people? I know you do marine rescue a lot. What is requiring to have that? Which I'm saying it's a good thing to have, but what is requiring the senior first aid course? I'm just curious if, you know, part of your volunteer work requires that. So,
I'm just checking for a message, you guys.
yeah, you got a Discord message from Doug.
Douglas, I'm still kind of working on that. I'll have to get back with you because my music after the yesterday's stream wasn't clear the entire time, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
So, but I know Colin's involved with Marine Rescue. Anyone that can do it, but it's all emergency service do it. They take a lot of work, and a lot of workplaces as well. Okay, I was wondering what the requirements were on that, but that's good to know. I mean, something we need to look for here. I think companies should pay for CPR. Every company got to offer free CPR.
My company does. Anybody that wants to take it can take it.
Yeah.
They don't give the first aid out, readily, but they give out the first, CPR, which is nice because I'm sorry, sometimes the ambulance doesn't show up for 20 minutes.
Well, my company doesn't care about me because I work from home. So I didn't say that. I'm just joking. Please don't fire me.
You got a 5-minute response time from the fire station.
Ziggy,
well, we have a pretty close fire station, so I think we're pretty good there. But still,
Ziggy, that sounds like something that would take a live stream on its own.
Yeah, it does. That would be fun.
And I don't want to just bring you in and cut you short, man. I want you to come in and chat for an hour or 3.
That looks like next week's subject, Paul.
Or sometime this week if you want. Get back with me on Discord.
45's got a good one. With his former employer required that they take first aid and CPR because they worked in remote places. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to take a basic first aid and CPR course in the first place. It just means that your boss was thinking about, the company was thinking, hey, just in case. It's that just in case part.
Any other questions for Chris?
Now, you guys know I'm on Discord, so you can hit me up there. Send me hit me up there. Colin's right on this. That his first aid courses are offering a lot of more mental health courses also. I mean, I've sat through debriefings, as they call them. Colin probably knows what I'm talking about. I've sat through them as the person getting debriefed, and I've sat through them as the senior person that is helping with the debriefing. And basically all it is you're going around the room talking about the mental portion of what happened. Not if it was a good call or a bad call. It was what happened. Okay. Is there problems with this, with you, with what's going on? Certain places don't give you time off. You got to get right back to work after you're done with a horrific CPR or first aid call.
That's so with our volunteer groups that fall under the county OEM.
Sorry, I just saw it. 45 just put.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we got to show what 45 put here.
Okay.
Since you're in Wisconsin, do you carry emergency cheese in your first aid kit?
No 45, and I'm still working on getting down to you with that spotted cow and some cheese for yourself. Honest to God truth. We've been going back and forth for a while on that.
So going back on the mental thing. So we our county utilizes volunteers through a certain amateur radio emergency service.
Yep.
And they're both sanctioned. We're all vetted by the county and trained. But one of the things is, if you're dealing with something as tragic as having a small child that being a fatality, you're doing these search and rescue operations. So that's going to take a mental toll on you. That's going to hit you right in the gut. and they have where you can go to. Sometimes it's a group counseling. Sometimes you can talk to an individual counselor, and that's good for life. So, like I said, we have a very rare situation in Denton County, and that mean we're in there with. Like I said, we have a very. What was that?
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yes, you were. I'm verifying some chat. I'm just double verifying some chats. Don't worry about it.
I mean, we're very fortunate in our county that supports their volunteers like that. So, but that's very important. You got to take care of the mental side of things. Also, a lot of our training and the certain side of things is a lot of the people that we're going to be approaching on a search and rescue, we get a lot of people with, autism and other things, where they may be nonverbal or, they may want to go on an adventure all the time, but, they become critically missing. And also Alzheimer's patients. They walk off and they have no clue where they are, if you get in that situation. So a lot of the training has gone to how do you approach somebody who's autistic, nonverbal? How do you approach somebody who, and that's a lot of the training that we've been going through recently. So great training.
Well, and Michael, the biggest thing is you're going to see is a lot more of that. I mean, they've seen what has happened in the past, so they're finally trying to correct it.
Right.
A lot of our training has been going on for, let's see, the first paramedic was actually in 1978, I believe, in Los Angeles County, California, if I remember right. And we've all seen, at least the three of us have seen the show Emergency, right?
Right.
Squad 51. I mean, I used to watch
Squad 51, Squad 51.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, they didn't know much back then. It was just go pick them up and go, pick them up and go, pick them up and go, load and go, load and go, load and go, load and go. When I started it back in 97, 98, it was, okay, do we need to load and go, or can we stay and start an IV and get them a little bit more stable before we go to the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's still that, yeah, there's certain places, certain times you load and go. But there's also certain times where you stop, you might draw blood, you might start an IV, you might start them on certain cardiac meds, you might start them on this, you might start them on that. It's a whole different ball game to where it was back in the 1970s or 1980s or 1990s. We're talking decades learning.
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. But go ahead. I just like Sean's comment here. I think we all need to carry emergency brisket.
Hey, bring some of that up here.
Yeah, Sean says it's part of the hurricane emergency package Texans. Here, because I forgot to play something yesterday, I want to play something before we finish. Then we'll do some closing statements and finish the stream for the night. But let me go ahead and play this, guys. And just want a big thanks to everybody. All the supporters, my Razorbacks, my hog, and all the piglets. Everybody who comes on the stream, chats with us, and brings a lot of fun to the community. It's all what we're doing this for. I enjoy it. So thanks, everybody. The name should be updated. The gifting is not updated yet. So once again, thanks, guys. And now back to the show.
Okay. Del Fargus just insulted all of us in Texas.
What?
Oh, jeez.
Keystone canned beef fried down with a few drops of liquid smoke tastes a lot like brisket.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Where's Ziggy?
Ziggy, are you still with us?
If not, there he
Yeah,
is. Check your Discord, Ziggy. That's pretty much it then for tonight's Sunday Night Ragchew's topic. Chris, you got anything you're going to be bringing up anytime soon? Videos or frames or anything?
Well, I just got done moving 220 repeater and a Fusion 440 repeater. I did a short on some of that, but I'm going to do more a longer video of how it got relocated. Been diving a little bit into Meshtastic. I got a node up in my window right now, seeing how that works, and I might be buying a T-Deck, which I might have a special case for mine. It's nice to do a 3D printer. And I've just been working on a bunch of, I don't know if you guys can see this, but a bunch of different wiring stuff for power poles and stuff like that, extensions and stuff like that. Just putzing around doing stuff and be building a what you call it, a antenna here pretty soon.
All right.
One last question for you, Chris. What latitude does a first aid kit require a Buc-ee's gift card?
Jody, I am not that far away from the Canadian border. I'm about a total of 7 hours away from the Canadian border. So let's just put it this way. You got to go much more south of me.
We're getting there. Buc-ee's is popping up everywhere.
Supposedly there's going to be one down in Milwaukee soon. That's what I hear. You got to remember, I'm an hour north of there. I don't know if I'm going to be going down there anytime soon, though.
All right, Michael.
I think
you got anything coming up this week?
Just a bit. So I don't have any plans for this Saturday. One of the things that I started doing was to check Facebook and other things, seeing what kind of activities are happening around the area. I like to drive within an hour of the house just to do an activity. So, Paul, if you're up for
come hang out with me
in town, let's hang out. Maybe do a POTA. By the way, guys, I have a P.O. box now. I got a P.O. box, and I have already put in the request to transfer my call sign and everything over there. So you'll be hearing my call sign. Paul can live stream.
Translation. I can live stream when we POTA.
So Ziggy's joining us here. Hey, Ziggy.
What's up, Ziggy?
I can't not invite Ziggy. I just, for some reason, my mind thought he had a invite link he could always click on, but I think it changes every time.
Ziggy.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Ooh, I am under the weather.
But you had a good time?
No Modelo Negros for you.
No, I had all the Modelos at Hamcation.
Yeah, I was watching you do the joint live stream with the coffee guys.
Yeah.
Finding those capacitors and some different fun, interesting things.
Oh man, they'll be there next year.
And you found the one with the connectors with the I forget, RG6 or whatever the connector is. You're like, I'm going to buy them all. No one else is buying them.
Yeah, these are here for me. So.
Dude, I found 3 more people selling RG6 locally. I didn't buy that other one, so I got to find someone else.
Oh yeah, it's all day long. It's all day long. There'll never be a shortage of it. No, I had a blast. I brought a live demo because I love live demos. Of how I can make 75 ohm return back to 50 ohm for you. So I'm like walking around with 60 feet of 75 ohm cable and a dummy load in my Rig Expert. I'm like, watch this, and I roll it out. I'm like, see, look, 50 ohms. And they're like, wait a minute, 50 ohms? I'm like, you don't believe me? That's fine. I'll go. I'll keep moving.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, there's his 75 ohm ham link. Ziggy's got some great stuff, some interesting stuff, and he's going to help me make an antenna with some 75 ohm cable.
Yeah, we're going to do a dipole that presents, at a proper. We're going to impedance match this dipole. So. And
if you're thinking to yourself, it's impossible. Just go watch his channel.
Thanks, man. what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's the negative 300 offset. Back to the topic.
Yeah.
It's everybody's probably got a 2 meter crossband mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody, in my opinion, has ever implemented it correctly, because somebody can be on VHF and somebody can be on UHF and you guys can work, but if you bring a third person into that mix, all of a sudden it's not
Yep.
full duplex to somebody. I found out, because I was screwing around with the Baofeng, a UV5R, that if you tell that thing that its offset is negative or positive 300, it'll do it. It'll switch from VHF to UHF on key down.
Yeah.
So you can, on a single VFO, you can be transmitting on your UHF and listening always on your VHF, and then you can add as many UV5Rs to this system that you want.
Like repeat system.
It's all full duplex. Yeah. So
now, are you going to be putting a video out showing all this stuff?
Oh, we're gonna do one, I think.
All right.
I'll set up a live demo. We'll do it on your channel before I.
Well, we can do a live stream too. It's always anytime someone's invited. I think it's default enabled to live stream to your own channel as well.
Yeah,
You can you can just hit the button up at the top of the screen.
But anyway, I thought that would be a great addition for your channel, because
I think it's awesome.
Just kind of a weird thing I discovered, and nobody really understands it. So I want to explain how to program. Oh, and what's great is that, so I put the tones on both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no chance of like it'll never open up. It'll never hear anything that'll open it up.
Yeah.
You'll never get anything like that. Yeah, it's absolutely quiet otherwise. It's the most beautiful emergency repeater system I think that exists. Totally underutilized.
It'll be up to you if you want to do a separate stream or video on it, or if you want to do it on a Sunday night one. It's up to you. We can figure that out another time.
I'll write up a script and I'll send it to you.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys.
Cool. 2 more pieces of information to share.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So thank y'all for everyone that subscribed. I'm at 3,930 on my subscribers, 3,930, and Prep Ham Paul has hit over 6,000 now. So we just did the 5,000 giveaway last week. He's now at 6,000. So congratulations, Paul.
Here's what's interesting. Thanks. Here's what's interesting. You get these messages from YouTube when you hit certain things. We hit 5K, then I hit 6K a couple of weeks later, and then it said, your next goal, 15,000. It's like, between now and 15,000, I guess, is no big deal. I would have thought 10, but it tells me my next goal should be 15,000. I was going to do something at 10.
vidIQ does. Yeah.
No, maybe it's vidIQ that sent. Oh, maybe it's vidIQ. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my current count. So let's look at Prep Ham Paul.
I think I got 40 in the last 4 or 5 days. I put that Milwaukee pack out short out. That got me a few.
I'll tell you the cool thing that happened to me at Hamcation. I was showing somebody how to use 75 ohm, and he was taken back. He was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe it.
He's like, "This whole time I could have been stringing this stuff out." He's like, "Dude, I've thrown out so much of this stuff," and I was
10 cents a foot.
Yeah, like no, that's retail pricing, right?
Yeah.
And he said he pulled out his phone and he's like, "What's your channel?" And he pulled up my channel, and right in front of me, he looked at me and he pressed the subscribe button, and I was like, "Dude, that's like the coolest thing ever." Because I've only got like my 300 subs, but that's 300 people I feel committed to.
Yeah.
So every single one means something to me, and it gets more like exciting is not the word. More like you want to, and I don't know all the subs. I don't even know, maybe even half of them, even a third, but it gets to where it's exciting is the only word I can think of, but where you want to drive and do more, right? You got these people that, okay, they've committed to this, and now at this stage, I've got people that have done memberships. I'm like, all right, I got to start putting something out there to make it worth their time and while. So it's kind of a more challenging, I guess, but fun.
So But once you hit 1,000, it starts counting in tens. So if he could be at 6,036. We don't know, but yeah. I had somebody do that to me yesterday, Ziggy. I was at a Lunar New Year, a festival. That's what it's called. Sorry, I'm blanking out. It's late. And a guy came up and we started chatting and everything. And he asked about my camera being there, and I told him about the channel. And he said, "What's your channel?" And right there, he said, "There, I'm subscribed." And I was like, "Man, that's awesome."
That's cool.
So I included him in the video, and I messed his name up in the video.
Of course,
Taylor. His name was Tommy.
Of course,
and right. Michael just lost one
Tommy
subscriber
the whole time until I turned on the camera, and I'm like, "Man, I'm an idiot." When I send their editing is when I finally figured out that I messed up.
Oh, here's a income topic real quick.
Okay.
I got this old Daiwa manual tuner, and back then tuners came with single lugs on the back. You could just screw a wire into it instead of having to get a PL connector to. Oh yeah. Yeah. So like a big boy, just a here you go, boys, send it, right, load it up. And I had never done this, and I wanted to be, a little kid, so I ran out into the backfield and set up a station. I just got some like random trash wire, and I made like a trash like radial field because it's got a wing nut for ground on the back of this tuner too. And I used speaker wire, but I made one 3 feet longer than the other, about 50-ish feet, both of them, so that the RF had an option where to go. And it made tuning a breeze, and I could do anything from 10 to 80 meters anywhere I wanted to go. And immediately within like the first 3 minutes, I talked to some guy in Puerto Rico. I was like, wow, this just works. And so I took it with me to Hamcation, and I was on every band all the time with my little zigzag prototype. I don't really fully understand how it works, but I think giving RF an option is a big key to it.
Which reminds me, did they sell all your all the chokes? I assume?
No, maybe about half of them. Yeah, because they got there with me and I was late.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I missed out, but my wife's birthday Friday, and then I looked up, so I said, all right, I'll go to Hamvention. That's our anniversary. So I just said, we're having our anniversary in Ohio this year because I'm not missing the next one. So yeah, Hamvention, and then I'm gonna try to do Huntsville. But that's not as close to you. That was my chance to see anyone on that side of the US. Next time. Well, all right, guys. So look forward to that. Always do something fun with Ziggy. Always great conversation, even before the Modelos start flowing. And if you, hold on. You got a good picture. Let me get that picture. Can I show the Jeep?
Yeah, show that Jeep.
Okay. I just
show the one. Show the Jeep from behind.
Yeah, I got the one from behind.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. I just realized because we got your messages up. Oh, I got to send you a sticker. So you got a Ragchew Crew sticker on there too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, check this out. This is Ziggy built this.
Wait.
Hold on. Zoom me in a little bit.
Yeah, I will. There you go.
So, does it not do full screen?
I guess not. But anyway, there's an Anytone Quad 6 on the
right here
on the passenger side.
You can see it there.
It's got a full 102-inch whip on a spring on the
right here.
on the trailer hitch.
It's tennis ball.
Yeah, it's got a tennis ball. Got some 3 DeWalt 5 amp hour packs underneath the hood in parallel. So
and
it's
then
got
a little bow thing right here. Is that?
Oh yeah, got to have your dual bander on deck.
Yeah, so that's Ziggy. That's the stuff Ziggy makes.
Yeah, and it's got it's got the blower motor swaps on it, so it just blows tires.
Nice.
That's the 3rd set of rears.
Oh,
I have to find people's junked out like power wheels and like scrounged tires off of them to keep my kids going.
Gas powered. Where are you powering it with?
3 3 DeWalt's in parallel. So on
Okay, so
contact,
you're-
yeah, on contact, it burns up foot switches too. So I'm guessing it's like it's a yeah. I go through foot switches. They're cheap. They're like $12, but
Yeah, see this spot right here where the hand is, my cursor?
we
I
can't see
need to
it.
send you a Ragchew Crew. Oh, your cursor doesn't show, I guess. Right next to coffee, I need to send you my Ragchew sticker.
right on.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
Let's see. And then my wife painted my logo on the hood, but
Oh,
it'll
let
be
me
there
see
next year.
Hold on, let me see if I got. Oh yeah, right here. Hold on. There.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's the unfinished logo.
Oh, is it? Let me check the other
Yeah.
picture. Hold on.
I don't.
Oh no, that's the same.
Yeah, those are all.
Yeah, I just got that. It's close. It's close to the logo. I mean, it's the Ohm logo, but
She got mad at me. She said, "Did you take this outside? There's pollen on it. I have to redo it now." Yeah, so she painted it. Oh, and I also upholstered the seat. It's not upholstered in that picture though.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
check that out. It's wired here. Wait, that's
Wow.
funny, man.
so
That's
so
hilarious.
it goes as fast as I can like comfortably jog kind of fast. That's about
That's
how fast
funny.
it goes. Yeah.
And you have your kids drive it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Because
awesome.
I mean because you got. I mean I'm gonna park in the back of Hamcation from now on. I'll go without water, just to have a nice big open field like at home for my kids to run around. And then plus I get to put up all my crazy antennas all over the place. I don't want to be all sardined in like everybody. So that's what we
Yeah.
did. We parked basically all the way at the back. And they didn't have water back there. And I said, yeah, but we got all this room. So I brought 15 gallons of water. We didn't go without water.
Nice.
So
Well, it's my goal in the next year or so to go to either Hamcation or Hamvention or both. So
I'm driving to More
I'm
Expo.
newly single, so
I'm going to drive to More.
I might hitch a ride from you then.
Well, that's the closest one. Dayton, I'm going to fly. Maybe drive to Huntsville. I don't know. But
It's
all
a
right,
good road
guys.
trip.
I'm going to get going a little over an hour and a half. Thanks, Chris, for coming on, for bringing the
You're welcome.
topic. I think it's an awesome topic. Thanks for sharing your expertise and experience.
Hey,
So I sent the
Ziggy's
links
got-
of everybody's
Ziggy
channels.
understands most of
Oh.
this, so it's all good. You know, I didn't know if you were going to be back, Ziggy, but I was trying to. The whole thing today was basically on first aid kits and trauma. You know, dealing with trauma and stuff like that. So, you know,
okay.
basically getting people trained and stuff like that. But you know, let's catch everybody on the air if we can one of these days. And got any questions? Hit me up in Discord, and I'm sure Ziggy will answer questions too. I mean, we both know how to do this stuff. We both done it long enough. So I mean, yeah, I've been doing it since 18. I'm 46. Whoopie ding dong. I still haven't learned everything.
Yeah. I did
so-
I did a 2-year stint in the ER during the height of COVID.
Yikes.
Oh yeah.
Fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have a friend. He was a COVID nurse, and
Thanks, Kelly, for
And,
stopping by.
that was something else.
It really, yeah. I'm so glad I was there for everybody that I got to be there for, though. It's not like I was doing anything.
Watch this week in the MCOM targeted contacts thing. Can't remember if that's what it's called or not.
Yeah,
I didn't want
Targeted
to.
comms.
Yeah, I didn't want to take Gaston's thing, but I'm going to start setting up dates and times that we can have get people practicing WinLink and maybe even try some JS8 call and voice maybe once a week or something. 2 different times
Cool.
and start getting going on that. So that's what's going on with this channel. Next Sunday Night Ragchews, 8:30 Central. Guys, thanks for stopping in. And as always, thanks to all the supporters. 73, everybody.
75.
7-3.
75 ohms.
75.